is going on, everybody? WSN owner Brady Owens here, and you are listening to the Wrestling Society podcast. You're paying attention. We're talking about the Fight for All pay-per-view. This is the Fight for All pay-per-view post-show, and there's so much to discuss. I got my team here, and the commentator duo of Kuya Clayton and Professor Bear, and then one of the guys on our production team, Gavin Hayes, who we will talk about the future of him in WSN 2K. I just want to take this moment right now and discuss the ending to Fight for All, because I'm only going to go through it once and we're going to move forward. We had a fan jump the barricade, come in and attack the winner of the Fight for All Battle Royal. It's not okay. You should know, if you're at any wrestling event, that's the worst possible thing you could do. However, after discussing what options I had with the local authority in Dallas, Texas, we decided to leave him in a cell overnight. Think about what he did. We won't be in Dallas, Texas for Thursday Night Proving Ground, so we won't have to worry about that. I did not go to the full extent of the law. The reason it was so easy for him to do what he did was because I decided to have light security. And the reason is because I believe we can trust wrestling fans. They're trustworthy people. However, there are some stupid wrestling fans out there, some negative people who just want to trash on the wrestling business and run it for everybody else. And that's pretty much what we ended up having at the end of Fight for All. This gentleman's name is Jack Barnett. So that's probably the last time you'll ever hear his name come out of my mouth. It was discussing what he did. However, we're not going to let that take away from what an incredible pay-per-view we had. Fight for All, the first ever WSN 2K pay-per-view. And I am very, very pleased with how the entirety of the show went. Guys, what do y'all think?
Well,
Historic.
I mean, couldn't have described it any better myself. I mean, historic first night, a lot of firsts tonight for us, for sure.
Absolutely, man. We'll definitely break it down match by match, but I'm so grateful. I'm so excited that everything turned out the way it did. What a great show. Yeah, like y'all said, historic night, and it's only going to get better and better. If you're listening, make sure that you tune in to YouTube every single Thursday night, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, for Proving Ground, which is our weekly show, our weekly 2K show. You'll see all the fallout and all the new stuff to come. Very excited. We are live right now on Facebook. And some of the talent that we have is actually watching with us right now, sitting in their locker room. And we do have Rusty Roman, who was eliminated by Anthony Rivera in the Fight for All match, and he is calling Anthony Rivera out. So y'all just have to stay tuned and see if something comes of that, because I'm very excited to see what happens next. So Clayton, let's go ahead and start with the first match. What did you think about it?
Well, before you do, not to interrupt, but let me tell you, because it's clear that I'm not with y'all. I'm back in my personal area. You know, I have to feel comfortable when I do these things. And I had a chance to talk to Rusty, and boy, when I tell you, if he gets a hold of the champ, he plans on doing some things. I just wanted to let that be said.
Yep. Very excited to see what all falls out. Yes, let's just go ahead and do it right now. Our first ever inaugural WSN World Heavyweight Champion is none other than Anthony Rivera. And when I say he had one hell of a night, I mean he had one hell of a night. That dude, honestly, I could say it about every talent that was on our roster, but he really deserved that victory, both victories tonight, Anthony Rivera. So congratulations to our champ, Anthony Rivera.
Big round of applause for sure.
Yes.
Like you said, he definitely went through hell tonight, went to hell and back, and he fought his way to victory, earned that title for sure. Couldn't be more proud of our first champion.
I couldn't either.
I'm going to say this right now. You're right about him because he did go through hell. He had a match, and then not only did he win that match, he had to go through the battle royale, and he also came out as a second person. And then, of course, at the very end, that disgusting Jack Barnett had to come out and do that crap. If that guy doesn't get locked up for years and years and years, I promise you, I'm going to be really pissed off. They need to burn that key down, and he needs to never be allowed into any other WSN pay-per-view or show at all ever again. That is just disgusting.
Yeah,
just got to agree with you.
100%. And it took a lot within me not to push to the fullest extent of the law. However, I didn't want to run the night for everybody like he did. So I ended up just saying, you know what, put him in there. We're moving on to the next town. So by the time we get there, he won't be anywhere near. So we're good there. But yes, absolutely disgusting. I think everybody agrees with you, Gavin. 100%.
And, you can tell, like I told y'all earlier in the night, he definitely been definitely a fan of mine, and you can tell by a lot of his movement. He just studied me, and he studied good, and that's why he is the inaugural champ. I mean, the flips, you couldn't even tell the difference between me and him. We just so much. And, I appreciate it. And me and him talked about it. And, we had the game plan. Well, not taking credit myself, but he knew what he was doing. And he followed the Professor Bird game plan. And you follow that plan, you're going to be a champion.
Man, Bear, I thought you snuck in one of your old wrestling tapes. I had to rub my eyes, make sure I was actually watching Anthony Rivera versus B. Rice. Quite honest, I didn't expect him to actually, before we jump to that match, let's just go in and start at number one. Kuya Clayton, what was the first match, and what did you think about it?
Well, what I think about it, first of all, it was Austin Reed, Caleb Trikel in our first qualifying match. What I thought about it is, like I told you guys, the gold medalist, Caleb Trikel, that young guy, total package, watch out for him because he showed that vet what is up. He took him to the house. He passed him out, pinned him 1, 2, 3, clean on the mat, and he is going to come up and you just you wait. He hasn't done anything yet.
Well, I'm not the type of person to admit when I'm wrong a lot, but I have to say, Clayton, you were right on the money with that one. That young kid, he did a lot. And to beat that veteran, and not just like you said, beat him, he passed him out. He made him go to sleep. And for that type of rough and tough veteran, he's going to be seething after that.
Another thing I want to point out too is like I said during the match, I knew he was tough, but man, he took 4, 5, 6 knees to the head, and then that springboard moonsault out of nowhere, kicked out at 1. I mean, how is he not the future?
I tell you what, I honestly think in all the years that Austin Reed, because he is one of our 2K veterans and a lot of other 2K promotions, I think he was caught off guard. I think he ended up assuming he had it in the bag. And then once, Caleb Trikel kicked out at 1, got up, I think he pretty much just was blindsided the rest of the way through. And once he got put in that chokehold, beyond confused, he was being passed out. It was a great match leading up to it. One thing I was definitely impressed about is you have somebody who is an Olympic gold medalist, along the lines of someone like Kurt Angle. You expect to see a lot of ground matted wrestling, a lot of submission holds, a lot of different submissions. However, Caleb Trikel ended up coming out and said, not only am I going to win this match, but I'm going to do it taking the Street Fighter's game to the Street Fighter. So yes, I did not expect it to go that way, to be honest, but undeniable. Absolutely.
Gavin, from the producer standpoint, how do you feel about our inaugural match? I know you were working backstage, you were doing your thing, but I hope you got to catch a break and at least get some time to check that match out. What'd you think?
I mean, it was a great match. To be honest, I didn't get to see much of the pay per view tonight. I watched little tad bits of each match to kind of see, how they were doing, how they were wrestling, stuff like that. And going back to what you were talking about Caleb, to be honest, going into this match, I thought he was kind of a joke. Okay, I thought he was a joke, and especially against a veteran like that, I thought it was going to be, 2-3 minute match over and done. And I was walking by one of the screens and, I see Caleb has him in a submission. And not only did he have him in submission, he broke the submission and then pinned him to do the damage. Just kind of like a little, almost like a spit in the face. And it really did surprise me. Like you were saying, he did not win the Battle Royale tonight, but I do think in the future you will see a belt around his waist.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, hot take, definitely, because I didn't sign anybody to this roster who I didn't think could possibly become a world champion in our company, and he was definitely one of those top dogs. But yeah, the way he ended it was very much, spit in the face to he definitely, it's clear he has something against 2K veterans. When you're an Olympic gold medalist, you come in and you think, this is a joke. That's probably what he's thinking, is this is a joke and I'm going to make an example out of all these 2K veterans and, stand up and eventually become world champion, be the best, showing that you don't have to be a 2K veteran to become the best. I'm very excited to see what the future holds for Caleb Trakel, and I'm pretty sure we have not seen the end of Austin Reed. I mean, only time will tell, but he pretty much packed his bags and left the arena pretty much the second he woke up from the mat. So nobody really got a chance to talk to him. So I'm pretty sure he's pissed off. But yes, the match was great. There was high flying action from both competitors, even ground matted, and that was cool. With Austin Reed being taken off guard by the striking offense of Caleb, he ended up saying, "Okay, you want to do that? Then I'll play your game as well," and started putting submission holds on Caleb Trakel. So I'm pretty sure this is not going to be the last time these two face off.
Oh yeah, I definitely see it. I mean, I think he made the biggest mistake was trying to play, oh, you can do it, I can do it too game, and it cost him. But as a veteran, I definitely see him coming. He's definitely going to want some sweet revenge.
Absolutely. He can't let those mind games, he can't let Caleb get in his head, because that, in order to win gold medals, you have to get in your opponent's head. You have to beat them mentally, not just physically. A lot of people don't realize that. So when you're coming into a showing like, a 2K promotion, not only are you going to come out offensively with, your physical moves, but you're also going to do it with your mental games. And he got into Austin Reed's head, and because of that, he stood tall after the first match. So he is the very first ever victor in WSN 2K. So hats off to him 100%.
Let's just switch gears for a moment. That second match, man, out there, the triple threat with Heel Lynn, Hodge, and Tammy. That was the match I got to watch the most, and I got to say that was a great match. But I just have one question: what is up with Hodge? Is she paid off? What's going on? What was that ending? I'm just a little confused. I tried to talk to her in the back. She didn't say anything to me. She just walked by, didn't say anything, because what you're supposed to do in a situation like that, you're in a triple threat match for not only a contender, but like in the future, you could be a women's champion, and you're just going to throw it away like that. Something's not right there. Okay. Something's not right. She's just sitting out there and she let the match in. You have to get in the ring and you have to break up the pin. It just seems a little off to me.
No, you question it. I question it. Bear, Clayton, we all question it. Everybody watching probably questioned it because it was such an odd thing to see. But like Clayton said, during the show, Heel Liz, I mean, man, she garners a lot of power, financially, social media based. I mean, if she, and what's crazy is she's good in the ring too. So she doesn't necessarily need to buy her way into victory stance. However, I think when you have somebody like Brittany Hodge and like Tammy, you want to have that insurance policy. And who knows? You know, we're here claiming that Brittany Hodge was paid off. This could have been just something, you know, she didn't want to jump in and get the spotlight right away. Maybe she wants to, you know, work her way back up in our division. You know, maybe she just genuinely was discombobulated and didn't know where she was. Who knows? You know, but when you are in a match and the reason somebody like Heel Liz wins, somebody with that kind of power outside of wrestling, it does raise the question of, you know, I don't think this was just coincidence. Clayton, there, what do y'all think?
Well, I I'm very confused. I mean, like I said, I mean, I was saying all night, Liz is gonna take it. Liz is gonna take the match. Liz is gonna take the title. I didn't know that's how it was gonna happen, though. I mean, I didn't think about that. Who knows? Maybe, like you said, Hodge just didn't want to get involved. Maybe she just wanted to, just try to get her feet set, get her feet set on the boat, just get settled in, and let everyone else figure it out, and then come in and strike whenever no one's expecting it. But it is heel Liz. I mean, like we said, she has that power. She has that social media status. She has the money status. She could talk to anybody and get them to do anything. So, I mean, it's just kind of hard to doubt that Hodge wasn't paid off. And, like I said, Liz taking the smart route all night. Smart route again. Ensure that you're getting at least one person not against you to ensure that you lose. Odds are in your favor, a smart route again. Can't go against it. I mean, I'm not mad about it if it is that way, to be honest. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I myself, as the owner of WSN, I am a little peeved at it. I'm not too thrilled about how that match ended. I tried, to talk to Brittany Hodge as well, Gavin, and she just didn't want to talk. I don't know if she was upset about what happened, if she's being paid to be quiet. I don't know. I do know that Heel Liz has been really hard to find, but I did run into her backstage, and talking to her, she made it clear that now that she is a number one contender, there are some rules that won't apply to her. So she's very she's twisting my arm, but I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to let that happen for too much longer. But as of now, yes, she is number one contender. She won the first ever women's match, and I don't want to take it away from her. The match was good. It wasn't the ending, didn't spoil the match completely, because there was a really good showing from all three women.
Right. Well, let me say this, being a former competitor, and I've had moments where my bell got rung, and looking back at some of my matches, I could see where people thought I was in it and wonder why I did certain things, but I was so zonked at the time. I was just trying to get my feet back under me and my head right. So I choose not to really have anything to say until we hear from her. And and then again, she may not say anything, So it's quite possible that she was just out on her feet. But again, as Clayton said, I'm not going to take anything from Hill Liz. When you're competing, it's win. You got to get that win, and I may not like it, but you got to get it when the opportunity is there. You need to jump on it and take it. We're talking about championships. They were fighting for the number one contendership. You got to put your A game first. Take advantage of all.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good way to put it. She did win, and if she does have anything to do with Hodge not breaking up that pin, she won not only in my mind unfairly, but she did it smart. She is a very intelligent woman, and instead of bringing in any shenanigans or foolishry into the match, she ended up possibly just paying one of the other opponents to stand down, which made it look like she actually won it herself. So if hopefully it's not what it appears, but if it is, I mean, she is smart, and she's already, confronting me, telling me that the rules don't apply to her, so she's feisty. But I mean, only time will tell. Clayton.
We as smart as an idea as it may have been or may not have been, she may not have done it, but regardless of all that, we cannot discredit those final moments of that match either. I mean, what she did to Tammy in that ring solo to secure that pin, first of all, regardless of if Hodge was there to break it up or not. I mean, that cutter at the end, like she earned that victory still in the end, I feel like.
Yep, we got Ian Mosley saying a W is a W.
That's right.
So yeah, I mean, the record book shows Hill is first ever winner in our women's division. I will say this: Hill Liz is expected to be at Proving Ground Thursday night. So is Brittany Hodge. So is Cub. Who knows? Maybe we'll hear from them and see what's really going on, if there is anything going on. So yeah, everybody stay tuned to Thursday night Proving Ground, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. All right, so let's talk about match number 3.
Man, y'all really gonna make me talk about this, huh?
Man.
First of all, I want to say, first grade, B Rice, AMA, AJM, y'all my boys. Why are you separating yourselves like that? You have the advantage when you're together. Go out there together. B Rice, you would have had that match. Rivera would not be, no disrespect. I love Anthony Rivera. He earned his victory. He earned that. But he wouldn't have had the shot if AJM was out there with B Rice tonight having his back. That's a guarantee for sure. I don't know what.
Clayton, let's we talked about this before. We have to be professionals. And just before you interrupt me, let me get this. He just professionally got his butt kicked. That's all I can say, buddy.
We'll keep that in mind whenever we hear what you and Doug had to say in the back.
Oh, shoot.
One person wouldn't have made a difference. You know why? Because Anthony Rivera went out there against 9 other people at the end.
Oh,
fair point.
I'm just saying. They wouldn't have made a difference. He had the Anthony Rivera was on top of the whole match, man. He reversed the punt. He was reversing all those moves. I mean, he just he was one step ahead of the whole match.
He was. And of course, he looked at my tape, so you can't help but
he had that veteran IQ.
Exactly.
I tell you what, the match was good. I'm going to say this right now. I think B Rice probably had a little more on his mind, because he is a tag team specialist in the 2K universe, and he ended up going in a one-on-one match, and he knew that AJM was already in the battle royal, so he had more pressure on him, really than Anthony Rivera, because he had to prove it not only to himself, but to his tag team partner, and of course to the world that's watching him fight in his first ever singles match. And then Anthony Rivera didn't make it easy on him by coming out of the gates hot.
I genuinely thought those first 5 seconds it was over. It had my heart racing. I was worried. I
tell you what, when he did that springboard DDT, bet your stars, I thought 1, 2, 3 was going to be it right then and there. But even though B Rice, I think pretty much from that point on, he was just kind of shaken a little bit. He wasn't expecting something out of the gates, because all these competitors that fought each other tonight have not been in the ring against each other before. They didn't know what to expect. So he probably didn't expect that, but there's a lot of things that I didn't expect from B Rice. The dude is quick and he is tough. And there's times where I thought, he's out, down, he's done. He would just come right back. And you could see when he would start getting in his head and get pissed off and start striking back. But Anthony Rivera kept his calm, kept his cool. You could tell Anthony Rivera has been doing this for quite a while in the singles division. So Anthony Rivera definitely had a step up from B Rice going into the match.
B Rice definitely looks like he's too used to tag team out there. That's the problem.
Exactly.
He's not used to singles matches. He was out there looking for his partner to tag in, and there was no partner. He kept throwing him in the corner, and he's over here reaching his hand out. You can't do that in a singles match. There's nobody out there with you. Get your head in the game or get out of the ring. That's all I'm going to say about it. Okay?
Well,
that's just the way it is.
Well, that's easier said than done. When you're a wrestler and you're used to doing something formulaic, it becomes second nature to you. And as much as I hate to give Clayton Boys credit, I will have to say they together will probably are a tough tag team. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to them in a tag team match. But with that being said, the way he came out hot and that DDT, and he's used to being able to hit his partner so he could get his head together. Before he knew it, it was over. So, you just got to give him credit for being willing to go out there and prove himself as a singular competitor. And I will give him credit for that. And like I say, he just met the wrong man at the wrong time.
Yep. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, I do think he has promise in him. And I definitely want to test the waters and see, because B Rice definitely wants to make an impact in the singles division as well as tag team. I'm going to go ahead and put him in a singles match again at Proving Ground and see if he can, shake off those nerves that he had at such a big event like Fight for All, and see if he could get the victory in his first singles match win. Because I definitely think he showed promise. Like we said, he needs to get out of the mindset of this is not a tag team match. This is a singles match. Not expect his partner, to be there to tag in. But yeah, I'm going to go and say right now, B Rice, I'm giving you a singles match on the very first episode of Proving Ground Thursday night.
All right.
I'm going to do one better. The way Bear kind of started off this segment, bringing up Clayton's boy, there's another man that it just wasn't his night tonight. And that is Bear's boy, Doug. So you know what? One-on-one match. We're going to see B Rice versus Douglas McRae.
All right. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, first
making moves.
First thing I would say, I think it's unfair that you're going to do Clayton like that because his boy get 2 quick losses like that. But, you're the boss, so.
We'll see, Bear. We'll see if Doug's on that Professor Bear program or not.
Yeah, he definitely does have the advantage going in because he is a veteran himself in the 2K singles division. So, B Rice is not going up against just some nobody. He's definitely going to have to put the work in if he wants to claim his first singles victory. And I'm pretty sure Douglas McRae is pissed off because watching it, he was kind of blindsided, and that's how he was eliminated because Caleb, who was not even near him, just out of nowhere decided to target him when he was not paying attention. So Doug's probably going to be pissed off. B Rice is probably going to be pissed off. And I think that makes for one hell of a singles slugfest. So I can't wait to see that on Proving Ground Thursday night.
Yeah, and I can tell you, speaking for Doug, he's not going to make any excuses. He didn't have his head on the swivel like he should have, and this probably is going to be great for him so he can beat up somebody. And he's gonna enjoy this. No
All
We'll see if
right.
offense,
there's no
Clayton.
excuses after Thursday, Bear. We'll see after Thursday.
We shall see.
We shall.
All right, let's go on to match. Was it number
Should be
4?
4 right here, which was an exciting match. I mean, we saw the first of all, before we jump into this match, let's talk about that footage, Bear. Because you were the one who got to the arena first. You were the one that saw the backstage footage first. You have the backstage info and knowledge. Tell us what was going on between Kylan and Spencer backstage. Why did from my perspective and what I saw, it looked like Kylan jumped Spencer.
Well, that is good, and from what I could tell from the footage, he did jump him, and maybe he was scared, maybe he just wanted to because he can. You know, look, let's just put it out on the line. There's not a lot of people that I will call jerks, but he's definitely one of them. He's arrogant. He just think he runs the world because he has money and can just do what he wants. And he's just a big pain. So clearly he had some fear that he couldn't handle him in the ring. So he tried to soften him up. And we see how well that worked.
You know, as the boss, let me go in and say this right now. He bought his way onto our roster. And let me explain that a little bit, because I did not sell out for just anybody. He bought his way under this roster by paying for the proper training. And that training has garnered him the ability to be on this roster where some of the best 2K and even Olympic gold medalists, this is where they stand. So he definitely earned his spot to be here. However, I will not let that slide. I will not let that bullcrap slide. I am not happy about what happened, what transpired in the parking lot. I was very, 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 it hurt my heart, especially after giving somebody an opportunity like I did, Kylan, and him to try to take matters into his own hands. However, it does rate the question of, is he scared? Does he believe in himself that he's the toughest on our roster? And because of that, I decided at that point that I was going to put him in a match Thursday night. However, I didn't know who it was going to be against until the way this ending to the 4th match happened, where it was very much a faulty finish. Spencer, it's tough for me to say this, but it was tough for him to hear it, but he did not deserve a victory tonight. As far as I'm concerned, neither man won. And I'm going to say this as well. I'm happy he didn't win the world championship, because it would have definitely put some kind of dirt on our world champion. And I was not excited for that to happen. I do believe both of these guys are some of the toughest that this roster has. So that's also going to be a match that you can expect for Thursday night proving ground. We will have the rematch, Kylan Howard versus Spencer Watley, to really see who the toughest is. And I'm telling you right now, if there's another faulty finish, I ain't having it. I did not decide to fire the referee tonight because, hey, mistakes happen. The refs are just as nervous. The refs are just as nervous as the competitors out there. So, I'm going to let it slide. But like I said, if this mistake starts happening more often, we may be finding ourselves with a new set of referees. But the match, Spencer came out looking like he wasn't even touched backstage. That footage, which Bear actually got from Gavin, who was in charge of the security footage as well. So thank you for that, Gavin.
Despicable. That's what I'm saying. It's just,
Yeah.
it's stupid. And honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm glad the ref screwed up because Kylan didn't deserve a chance at that belt. Okay. It's just ridiculous. Okay, he doesn't need to be going out there thinking he's a hot crap, because he's not. Okay, he's not. He's over here attacking people in the back just because he's scared of them. Then go do something else. Go somewhere else. This isn't for you. Then this is ridiculous. I mean, and then after the match, he comes up in the back and he's all mad. He's screaming at me, screaming at everybody else, talking about he wants to, have a talk with the ref. I told him no, and he's all up in our face. He's talking about the ref screwed him, blah blah blah. No, Kylan, you screwed yourself. Kylan screwed Kylan. That's what it is.
Wow.
Hold up.
Screwed Kylan.
Let's pump the brakes a little bit. First of all, now that I'm really thinking about it, we don't know the full story of what happened backstage. How do we know that Spencer didn't first attack Kylan, and just our security footage that we have is just, Kylan attacking Spencer and having the upper hand? How do we know this wasn't something that started like outside of our cameras and just bled into our cameras? And here we are blaming Kylan when he could have just been doing self-defense for all we know.
I'm telling you, I was in the back the whole time. I heard something going on, and that's when I took a look at the footage. And right when I heard something, that's what I saw. I immediately grabbed the footage right there. Nobody touched the cameras. Nobody messed with the cameras to delete Spencer footage. I'm telling you, man, Kylan, he can't be trusted. He can't be trusted.
And let me tell you, go ahead, Bear.
Again, I don't throw this word around lightly. He's a jerk. Period, point blank.
Just talking to Kylan backstage when I met him and I signed him on that contract. I mean, he told me, pretty much just blank face that now that he has a contract, he has the lawyers to pretty much twist my arm to get whatever he wants on his contract. He hasn't tried anything yet. And I'll be honest, he hasn't even come up and talked to me yet about what transpired. However, I will tell you a little something about Spencer that I mentioned during the show tonight. This guy came to me, raggedy clothes, no shoes, nothing. He was, dirty straight from the Alaskan bush. And I decided at that point, I was like, this guy deserves some nice wrestling gear. So, I went out, bought some nice boots, knee pads, elbow pads, got some killer trunks. And when I offered it to him, he didn't want any of it. He just grabbed the trunks. And he told me that unless he fights for it, he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't take handouts or anything along that. So he's definitely an honest man. And I did talk to Spencer after the match and showed him the footage of Kylan holding the ropes, at which he did not realize at the time. And he was very, very upset that that is how he got the win, and he feels like it wasn't a win. So he's very much looking forward to the match Thursday night. So unless Spencer Wadley is an incredible liar, I'm gonna have to say Kylan definitely tried to take advantage and gain his insurance policy by attacking Spencer backstage, thinking that nobody was going to be, witnessing it. However, Bear got there early. So he caught it. And then Gavin, you heard stuff on the production team. Bear asked you for footage, and I hate to say it, but I don't believe it was altered.
It was not altered. I'm telling you, I was back there the whole time. Nobody touched it. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, the match was good. I'm excited about Thursday night. I think it was cut short, unfortunately. Kylan does have the right to be pissed off. I think he had enough in him to kick out, but he just assumed that grabbing the ropes was going to stop the ref's count. So, I mean, both are absolutely incredible competitors. Like I said, Kylan comes from a world of money where he's bought everything. If he had a problem, he paid to solve it. And then you have Spencer Watley, who literally had to fight for everything. His food, from hunting with his bare hands, wrestling bears. I mean, this guy.
Bear, you wrestled this guy?
Oh.
Well, what I was going to say, that I did have some inside knowledge on him, that he is a great guy, and that's why I knew he would not do things like that. But No, he didn't wrestle me because he would have lost, but that's beside the point.
But he is a great guy because he doesn't kill bears. He helps rehome them. So yeah, he is a good man. I think both guys were robbed. I think Kylan, he made the poor decision and was exposed in front of the whole world with that security footage. Like I said, haven't had an opportunity to talk to him yet, but I will be discussing that with him when we're backstage at Proving Ground and let him know that if that happens again, there will be suspensions. And I mean, we'll see if he has any power at that point.
Definitely get his money. That hurts him.
Before we move on from it, I just want to throw a quote out from one of our fans and reporters in the chat here, Mr. Ian Mosley. When you are the best, you get to do what you want. Oh, where'd it go? Something just happened. When you are the best, you get to do what you want. If you don't like it, then you are unworthy of his presence. Damn right. Acknowledge his presence.
Give me a break. Y'all are so full of it, man. Give me a break, dude. You were given an opportunity to show your talents. The owner didn't have to give you a contract. He didn't have to give you anything. He could have told you, go to the other promotion. He didn't have to bring you here. And if you're just going to spit in the face of everybody just because you think, you're better and stuff, then this isn't for you, man. Just get out of here with all that crap. No, don't give me a break.
You know what? I'm going to have to side with Gavin here. As the owner, was a spit to my face, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to have it. If you truly believe you're the best, prove it in the ring, not backstage. I'm not going to discipline him right now. As far as I'm concerned, everybody at least gets one strike before, I lay the hammer down. But I'm not going to let that kind of slide. I'm not going to have a sloppy locker room backstage. So I'm definitely going to be playing my cards close to my chest and making sure that this stuff doesn't get out of place.
And just one quick thing before we move on. I am not a biased man. I've never been. I've been a champion in many different promotions. I let my paws do the talking. And if it wasn't for being respectful Brady, I would show some of these competitors. But that's behind me. And we're just going to keep going on. Sorry about that, boss.
I think you should come out of retirement and show Kylan what's up. Go out there and show him that, since he thinks he's the man, I think you should go out there and show him who the real man is.
Plant the seeds. Let's go. Got it in you, Bear?
No, I was hired to do one thing, and that's what I'm doing. Unlike you, Clayton, I am a professional.
So let me make this clear. I have given power to both Clayton and Bear to be able to hire on talent. But I do get the final say, and if I don't think the talent deserves to be on a roster, I won't let it happen. However, they have not disappointed. They have both brought on some great guys, but I'm excited to see, what the future holds for sure. I'm definitely proud of you two guys for bringing on some cool people to add to our roster. And, like I said, they deserve a spotlight, and I'll be making sure they get it when it's deserved. Kylan Howard, however, he does get this match, but it's going to be one of those things that, as far as I'm concerned, he has to earn his way back into my good graces. So, Thursday night, we'll see if he can do that.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on. Get some light shine on our second women's triple threat match, because that was one hell of a match. That was exciting. I mean, I could barely keep up with it. There was so much going on in it. I don't know. What y'all think about it?
I'll tell you this, that Nebula Grimm is going places. My goodness, the high-flying ability, and then that unbelievable, undeniable power that she possessed in that match was just out of this world.
I mean, like I said, she almost threw Cub into space with that one. Like, I mean, she was so high in there. And it's like, it's crazy. I feel like, from where I was sitting, Nebula Grimm looked as tall as I look sitting down. Like, and she had that much power in her. Like, that blew my mind.
I tell you what, the match was just great, and thank you, Clayton, for helping me because Club, I mean, that young lady, she did her thing, and I, it's something really familiar about her. I've still hadn't been able to put my paw on it, but she was doing amazing things in that power and agility. I was very impressed.
That moonsault, that was one of the most beautiful
Yes.
moonsaults I have ever seen. For her to win the match with that, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. It
Incredible.
was
She actually told me backstage before the pay-per-view. She said that she told me to look out for the Cub salt. It's something she's been working on. She's been really trying to perfect it. And if the opportunity presented itself, she was going to use that maneuver to claim a victory. And I tell you what, she was a woman of her word. She stayed true.
called her
and
shot.
Called her shot. No faulty finish. There was multiple times where one woman was pinning another, and then the third woman broke it up. So definitely hats off. And Rose too. Rose was a
Absolutely.
little spitfire. I mean,
Absolutely.
she would be kind of standing off to the side, and then out of nowhere just hit like these mean, suplexes and STOs. She was really fighting for a victory. I definitely did not expect it because she is not as much of a veteran as I believe she's the newest to wrestling in our women's division. So definitely hats off to Rose. Excellent.
Absolutely.
Killed it.
They did a hell of a match. And honestly, I thought it was the bear match of the night, to be truthful with you.
Wow. All right.
Bear match of the night. Y'all
The
heard
bear
that.
match of the night. What was the bear highlight of the match of the night?
Yes.
Oh, of course, it had to be the moonsault. That was
Moonsault.
Beautiful. It was beautiful. It was executed. It almost reminded me back in my day where I used to do a moonsault. But it was just amazing,
man.
I'll tell you what, it was a thing of beauty. So nice they had to show it twice, like Clayton said. She's definitely the number one contender for the women's world heavyweight championship, which will be fought for at the next pay-per-view. But I mean, that Nebula Grimm came out on fire. I knew that was going to happen. She was my pick. And then you have Cub coming out, literally sprinting down to the ring on fire, ready to go. I started having a little bit of second guesses at that point, but I stuck with Nebula. And again, like I said, I did not expect Rose to have the kind of showing that she did. And she's definitely earned her spot in our women's division. I'm very proud of the women in that match. The match was great. Bear match of the night. So
it was great.
Yeah, if you're listening to it, that you need to go back and watch one match. Go back and watch the second women's triple threat match, which was the fifth match of the night. Again, I did not like the ending. And Bear, you actually, I don't know if you saw this or not because you took off to go backstage right before this happened. But let me kind of repaint the picture. Cub won. She was celebrating in the ring, and then Heel Liz's music hits. She's looking down at the entrance ramp, waiting for Heel Liz to come down, meet her face to face in the ring, and say, this is my women's championship. I'll see you next month at the pay-per-view. However, that's unfortunately not what happened. Cub was attacked from behind by Heel Liz. Heel Liz took advantage of the blind side and dropped Cub where she stood. I disagree with how she did it. However, some will call it smart. Clayton's one of those guys who thinks that was a smart decision for heel Liz.
Well, I understand when you're scared and you need an advantage, you're gonna jump on people. And Hill Liv has made no bones about it. She's not here to make friends. She's here to make money and get championships. But what I will tell her, you need to be careful on who you jump on, because the jump on could be a lot easier than the ride off.
Here's what I'm going to say about it. One of the greatest champions of all time, if not the greatest champion of all time, holding the record for most championship wins, Mr. Ric Flair, is also known as the dirtiest player in the game.
That is
If that
true.
doesn't get you to the top, I don't know what does.
That is true. And I mean, yeah, Ric Flair did do a lot of cheating to win his way to the top. However, he also used a maneuver, the figure four leg lock, and Cub actually showed her the forest four leg lock, and how dominant she could be with that submission as well. However, here's the thing. This women's championship match is going to be a one-on-one match. She's not going to be able to pay somebody off in the ring to help her garner a victory.
Very true. But again, you got to be smart about who you jump. Just because someone's back is turned, you don't just jump on them. You got to do research. And I think Liz just jumped on the wrong forest animal this time.
I mean, time's definitely going to tell. Like I said, they're both expected to be at proving ground. It's in the name. Nobody can be surprised. It's in the name. Heel Liz. She is a heel. She's probably has the potential of being one of our biggest heels. So she's not looking to play face and get people on her side and on. She's in it to win. And move her way to the top any way necessary. And if she looks at people like Ric Flair, who is truly one of the greatest in the world to ever do it, it's clear she's not here to be a fan favorite. She's here to be the best. So say what you say. I disagree with how she went about it, but I mean, who knows? Time's going to tell. We'll see. Both of them. I have not announced the women's match yet, but I'll probably discuss with the women's division. But yeah, they're all expected to be there. I will be talking to Liz a little bit more about what transpired. I'll be talking to Brittany Hodge, see if we could get any more information out of the what happened in the first triple threat match, and make sure that the women's championship match is going to be a fair match.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see how well that works out, especially when you got heel Liz in there. I mean, come on now. You got to go. I mean, you're going to turn on the music and go behind her and hit her. That's just cowardly, And we're over here talking about Ric Flair. Okay. Yeah, he was good because he cheated. Take out the cheating. The guy wasn't that good. Okay. Sorry. He's not that good. Ric Flair was never that good. I'm just going to be honest right now. Ric Flair was never that good. You look at Cena. Cena never cheated. How many championships did he have? Okay, that's because he was a man.
Not as many as Ric Flair.
He was a man and he went out there in front of people. If you look at all the matches that Ric Flair had that he did not cheat in, he lost. You know why? Because he wasn't good. He wasn't good enough. He wasn't a good wrestler. He didn't have strength. He didn't have any of that. And that's what heel is going to turn out to be. So she needs to get out there and be a man and actually fight somebody face to face, not over here trying to cheat or pay somebody off or get, somebody else to be on our team and come out and do something. I can just see her finding so many ways to win. And it's just, man.
Let me jump in right there. I am a man of business. And I always say that I invented the saying, it's just business. I can't tell you how many people I pushed aside, how many people I've dropped behind me to get to where I want, including this entire division. So yeah, I had to hurt a lot of people. There's been people that I've had to unfortunately stab in the back who were trying to get in the way of what I wanted. So as a businessman, I definitely see where she's coming from, and I see where people like Ric Flair are coming from, because despite the fact that he didn't win all his main matches fairly, he's still written down as the one who holds the most championships. However, from the personal stance, I'm sickened by it. I'm disgusted by it. I think everybody should step in the ring and face off one-on-one to truly see who the best is, because that's what I and all the fans want to know, is who is the best. And if you can't win a match one-on-one, or one-on-one in a triple threat, if you can't win it fairly, then are you really the best? We may never know. We may never know if Ric Flair was truly one of the best. So wouldn't you want to cement your legacy as one of the best by saying, I've won all these matches without cheating? But like I said, the business side of me, I get it. Personal side of me, disgusted.
Well, as a former wrestler, I don't agree with cheating all the time, but you got to do what you got to do. And if you want to be at the top, you knock the next man down.
Yep. I mean, time will tell. They're, like I said, they're all expected to be at Proving Ground Thursday night. I'm going to see if I can get, all three women, Brittany Hodge as well, see if I can get all three of them in the ring in front of the entire audience and see what the hell is going on. Is there some shenanigans? And Heel Liz, though she did what she did, she's still the number one contender for the women's championship along the side of Cub. And she was the last woman standing tall in the entire night. So let the highlight reel show that she won her match and then went out and targeted the winner of the other match to say that I deserve to be standing tall. And the question is that going to be a similar picture that we see at the end of next month's pay-per-view? Only difference with the Women's World Championship. Time's going to tell. I'm very excited to see what happens from there. But guys, I'm ready to get to the freaking main event. What do y'all say?
Absolutely. Let's go.
Who and the drawings were all random, by the way. So who knew that Anthony Rivera was going to come out number one after having a match? My hope was that somebody who didn't have a match would come out number one and number two. However, I thought the best way to play things fair is to have a drawing. Poor Anthony Rivera drew number one. And when he drew his number, I heard Gavin say that he was excited about it. Because Gavin was the one who was handing out the numbers of the people who won the qualifying matches. Gavin said that his reaction was more excited than disappointed that he gets to have a longer time to show his ability in the ring. And the victory was going to taste that much sweeter. So he went into this match already expecting to win. So, I mean, that's definitely a champion mindset right there. And he didn't cheat to do it. So
exactly, he didn't cheat. That's what I'm saying. He didn't cheat. It's just ridiculous. Tonight was a great pay-per-view, but what I'm saying, I'm starting to notice who's the cheaters and who's the real athletes. That's what I'm saying. Who's the fakers and who's the reals? Okay, that's what I'm saying. And I hear all this talk in the background, all these fans behind me, all these these wrestlers shouting us out. Like, look at this crap, really? Cupcakes and rainbows. Get over yourself. No, get over yourself. This is ridiculous. If you're not actually good at what you do, go be something else. You got to cheat to win. Give me a break.
Hey, I will say major props, major shout outs to Anthony Rivera, our inaugural world champion.
Yes.
I mean, that man definitely earned it with every ounce of his body for sure. But if you ain't cheating, you ain't winning, bro. In the end.
I tell you what, Anthony Rivera definitely had a great showing. I mean, I also want to talk about just the really badass looking motorbike riding sweet entrance and the opponent who came out number 2, and that's Raymond Kite Jr. Dude looked like a beast. He came out hot. He was ready to go. Again, Anthony Rivera caught him off guard with his speed and agility. And Anthony's not about that locking up in the middle of the ring. And I mean, he goes for the throat. But I mean, Raymond Kite came out looking like a boss and fighting like one as well. And by the way, props to Bear. You knocked it out of the park with the ring announcing. I know our ring announcer was also very nervous tonight, but he one too many mistakes as far as I'm concerned. So
I'll just say, I don't know where his notes were or whatever, but whoever told him everybody's from New York, come on, bro. You had to have missed that joke, had to have just gone over your head or something. Come on.
I will say this, guys. Being an inaugural pay-per-view, this is a lot of these guys' first time. So, they're nervous and they don't have that experience. So you got to give them a break. And, sometimes you just got to get out there and do things and show them the right way. And since I was in the back and I was like, you know what, let me show you how you announce things and how you get the crowd into it. And it wasn't me trying to take over. It was giving him a life lesson. That's all that was. And, me going back to my Forest Days championships, you got to get out there and give it your best. And if you get knocked down, you get back up and you do the thing. And that's why I have to say I like Rivera. It's like he studied my playbook. He was all over. When he saw an opportunity, he went into it. And that's what you got to do. You can cheat, you can fight straight, but when you're done, you got to get the W. And that's why I liked it, because he just went, and when he saw an opportunity, he capitalized. And you can't hate a man for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to lie. I definitely believe in all the talent that I signed. They wouldn't be here if I didn't. There's some that did not have a showing tonight that I'm very excited to see, perform for us. However, Anthony Rivera, I honestly don't think I could have picked a better champion to be the first world champion. He came out swinging, came out hot, came out on fire, and he was able to pace himself at such a fast pace. It blew me away. I did not expect him to go the distance, to be honest. And then everybody who stepped in the ring, I mean, he went toe to toe with all of them. Rusty, who is probably one of our biggest, guys on the roster.
That man right open.
Yeah. It definitely was. And now Rusty's, calling out Anthony Rivera. However, it's kind of tough because when you're world champion, there are different things in place to see who the next, number one contender is. It can't just be anyone. So there are some statistics and things that we need to put together to see who is going to be. But I promise you this, that eventually down the road, we will be seeing Rusty versus Anthony Rivera. And I'm pretty sure Rusty's not going to forget what happened by the time they do finally collide. But Anthony Rivera, first champion. It's unfortunate his celebration kind of got, ruined a little bit early, but I'll tell you this, at Proving Ground Thursday night, he is going to be there, and I'm going to give him the entire main event to talk. So we will hear from Anthony Rivera and see what he has to say at Proving Ground, and see if there's anybody specifically that he would want to challenge, maybe for a match or for the championship, if there's anybody who he has his mind on. We got Rusty actually in the chat, still paying attention. He asked how many eliminations did Anthony have, and Rusty had 2 eliminations and then got eliminated by Anthony Rivera.
That's a good
Um,
question.
I don't know exactly how many he had. I know he did have quite a few,
Yeah.
I
considering
was thinking it
he
was 4.
eliminated
Yeah, I was thinking 3 or
the
4.
he eliminated the gold medalist, which was a shock. I did not
May
expect
and
that.
Rusty.
So there was 3 right there. Like Bear said, it's hard to keep your eye on all the action for
And
sure.
we'll have to get those statistics caught up and posted for y'all for sure.
Absolutely, as deserved. But yeah, Anthony Rivera came out just on fire. And I know he's a 2K veteran. And I'll be honest, I didn't expect him to be. I'll put it this way: just looking at the behemoth that B Rice was, I thought for sure B Rice was moving forward. But I mean, Anthony Rivera, he stood tall. It didn't matter about the size, how big you were. He targeted you. A lot of guys who are smaller, they'll look at bigger guys and they'll question. And the second you take to question, well, that's a second too long because then you're being attacked. He did not have any second thought, second question.
No
He saw
fear.
somebody, just went for it. And that's why he is your WSN world heavyweight champion. And go ahead, Gavin.
Bear, I just gotta ask. So, Douglas McCrae comes in at number 3. Okay. I saw you and him when I was in the back. Y'all were talking. Douglas McCrae comes in at number 3. Caleb comes in at number 5, immediately eliminates him. What happened, man? What do you think happened? Like, did y'all chat after? Did y'all have a chance to chat after the battle royale? I didn't see him.
Well, let's say this, and I'm gonna give you a little bit more than I was giving the other guys. We'll see what happens at Proving Ground.
Okay. I will say Douglas McCrae is a lot better than he had a showing for at the Fight for All match. I would say he got in his head because of the size of the crowd and the size of the event. However, he's fought at big events before, so I'm not too sure what happened. But like Bear said, if something negative happens in the wrestling world, you got to move forward. So we'll see what happens at Proving Ground. I did not expect to see him eliminated so quickly. Another person I didn't expect to see eliminated so quickly is a world-class athlete in himself, is Kaido. Young Kaido. That dude is an incredible high flyer. When I saw his footage, I said, I gotta have this kid on our roster. This kid is going to move mountains. He has a lot of potential. And he came out and I was excited and he got eliminated.
He did get that move in on, I believe it was Rivera. He got that move in on. It was a really nice move. But then it was like almost immediately after someone grabbed him and threw him out the ring. And I was like, man, I was hyped to see him come in. I was pretty stoked to see what he was going to pull off, what he was going to do.
Yeah.
So that did bum me out a little bit for sure.
I'll tell you this, all the footage that I saw, it was like 11 or 12 matches. They were all single one-on-one matches. So when he came in, there was, I believe, quite a few, at least 3 or 4 other guys in the ring at the time. He probably he wasn't ready for, you can't really plan for that. You can't plan what are you going to do, because usually it's am I going to do? What is the other guy going to do? But when you have 3 or 4 other guys, you can't plan what all those guys are going to do and how you're going to react.
Exactly.
So he probably went out there with a game plan, realizing that you can't go into a match like that with a game plan. You have to go out there and fire away, just like Anthony Rivera did. Don't second think. Just you see somebody, attack. And that's what he did. So Kaido, you will see more of him, and I promise you, he does have what it takes to be on this roster. Don't let the short Fight for All appearance fool you. He's definitely a world-class athlete. Michael Jimenez. Go ahead.
I was gonna say you can't let anyone's performance in the Fight for All speak for them as wrestlers. Just like you said, when you're in that type of environment, a battle royal type situation, you never know what's going on behind you fully. You're trying to concentrate on one, then someone else comes up behind you. Maybe you're in a feud with somebody and you want to focus on them. Then then hey, maybe if someone you consider a friend come and throw you right over. You just don't know. So you're back in my day when we used to get down in the forest, I didn't care who you were. Squirrel, gone. Bear, gone. EDT to a deer, didn't care. You're just gone.
Yeah. I mean, definitely survival of the fittest. And it definitely raises a good point, that you mentioned. It doesn't matter if you're friends or anything. I noticed backstage there were two guys who definitely seemed, buddy, and that was Anthony Rivera and Michael Jimenez. It really looked like they were, getting along and talking about the match and going over some moves with each other. And Michael Jimenez came out. He looked Anthony Rivera in the eye. It was almost like they kind of had a connection, like, let's take this over. Anthony Rivera turned his back. The second he did, Michael Jimenez kicked him square in the back. So Michael Jimenez had that mindset of, it doesn't matter who you are. This is my time to shine. And so he ended up, targeting his friend, stabbing him in the back. But again, like kind of the, popular thing we've been talking about is he kind of stabbed somebody in the back. Anthony Rivera didn't do that to anyone. And look who stood tall at the end of the night. But Michael Jimenez, he is also a great wrestler. I wouldn't have signed him if he wasn't. I'm excited to see what he, has to offer for WSN 2K. He's definitely going to be somebody big. But I was taken back by that. I was taken back by how he entered the ring and immediately, not even, that's one thing him and Rivera share in common is they don't second guess. They don't think things, through. They just go out and do it. I think he knew he was going to stab Rivera in the back long before he even made his entrance down to the ring.
Hey, like I said, man, he was sneaky. That was one thing I described him as whenever he first came into the match. He's probably one of our sneakiest competitors. He will, try to get on your good side, be all buddy, make you think he's good and got you. And as soon as you turn your back on him, he's got you. But it showed. And like I said, sneaky man, but it didn't pay off for him tonight. Like we've been talking about Rivera. He's that diamond in the rough. He did everything perfectly tonight. He dominated throughout the entire night. He's a diamond in the rough. But we can't deny through history, whenever you take advantage like that, most of the time it proves to give you an advantage. But just he had a good offense. Rivera just had better defense tonight.
Yeah. Hats off to everybody in that match. Everybody did incredible. Like I said, Kaido didn't get the time to shine that he deserved as far as I'm concerned. But the guys who had matches tonight, Spencer, Caleb, and Rivera, all had lengthy showings. So they had not only did they have matches in the same night, but they actually stood their own in the pay-per-view. You had Rusty, one of the biggest guys, and Spencer came in and he was like, you know what, I've seen bears bigger than you, grabbed him by the throat and just started palm slapping Rusty in the face. And boy, Rusty, he was like, oh hell no, like, I'm not gonna mess with this guy right now. But he eventually came back, and I believe he eliminated Spencer, if I'm not mistaken.
He got him back. He got him back
for sure. That was but yeah, Caleb. And I'll tell you right now, one match that I am incredibly incredibly excited about is going to be eventually down the road sometime. Is going to be Rivera versus Caleb. That match is going to be absolutely amazing. Caleb ended up losing just by he slipped. He slipped. It was, I think, Caleb, it was not a very definitive elimination by Rivera. Rivera just targeted and caught him right at the right second. And if you notice, all his eliminations were the same. He wasn't trying to hit big maneuvers to eliminate these guys. He would toss them over the rope, and then right before they could get a good grip on the rope, he would chop their hands, and that's how they get. He was smart.
Got to save that energy, man. There's a lot of guys to get through. Like we say, he came out number one. He had 9 guys to get through. I mean, he eliminated, our count was at least 3 or 4, off the bat. So it's like he had to do it in a way that conserved his energy. I mean, he still showed out and did some of his high flying moves, his big moves. But on those eliminations, he, like you said, he was smart about it. He made it count.
Yeah. We got Rusty saying that he was nervous at first in the ring, but and then he got staggered a bit by Spencer, of course. But once he got settled back in, he had to take care of business, and he sure did. Yeah. He was one of the last 3.
By the way, Rusty, I want to ask, how's that head doing? We saw you get busted open out there, so I just want to make sure you're doing good. No, you seem like you're doing good. You're not concussed or nothing. You responding to us up here, so seem like you're doing all right.
Big man. Look, let me tell you something about us big man. You never can count us out. And most times what you're going to do when you think you're hurting us, you just pissing us off.
Yeah. I mean, that showed it that, and another thing too, like we saw with Spencer, it's almost like when y'all see blood, like, okay, that's it. I'm not going to let this happen. But I mean, Rusty, you can't blame you. Nobody expected Rivera to have the fearless, fast striking ability that he had, also with the strength. I mean, he was a strong dude too, to be able to flip guys like Rusty and Spencer just with his legs. I mean, he's a quick dude, and he fires. I think it's possible we may be looking at a long championship reign in Anthony Rivera for sure.
Definitely has the heart for it.
Yep. Another guy I want to talk about real quick is AJM. Alex Mayfield coming out number 10, and he came out on fire. I'm not going to lie. I thought for sure that we were going to see the perfect revenge story of Alex Mayfield, eliminating Anthony Rivera, taking that victory away from him for taking the qualifying match opportunity away from B Rice. And I mean, AJM was taking it to Rivera. I mean, it was definitely, it could have gone either way as far as I'm concerned. But, again, like I've said, he got thrown over the ropes, and I thought he probably thought he was going to have a little bit of a fight against Rivera, but Rivera didn't cut time for a fight. Before he could get his hands ready to start fighting back, Anthony Rivera chopped him off. It's slippery out there, and you just slipped your way out of a victory. But that is another match that I'd like to see. I'm not sure how AJM does in singles action. However, I know he is a little bit more familiar with singles action than B Rice is. So, we'll see if he ever gets any opportunity for singles action, see how he could do, because he definitely had a good showing. Coming out 10 was definitely in his advantage. I honestly didn't expect him to lose at all, especially when you're coming out number 10 and you are as good as somebody like AJM. But tonight, Anthony Rivera was the better man.
And I did get the statistics. So Anthony Rivera had 5 eliminations in the
Dang.
That man had heart. Definitely can't say anything else about him. He had heart, man. 5. He eliminated half the eliminations,
bro.
Plus, after having a singles match, that's just. I mean, he deserves the belt, in my opinion. I personally think he'll probably hold it for a while just because of tonight's performance. He really showed. So I look forward to see what he'll be doing in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I did have a chance to talk to him which is why it kind of took a little time for us to hop on here to do the live post show. I was talking to Anthony Rivera, and the kid was pissed. He was pissed that his spotlight was taken. He felt like he deserved to have that spotlight. And unfortunately, the showing that we saw at the end of the night did not go the way it expected. But one thing I do want to tell y'all that y'all didn't see after the cameras cut off was Anthony Rivera got back up. And as the local authorities and what security we did have were taking Jack Barnett away, Anthony Rivera was doing everything. They had to hold him apart. Anthony Rivera was livid, and he told me it demanded actually a match against this Jack Barnett. However, I had to tell him that this kid isn't, at the time, I didn't even know his name. He's not on our roster. He's not somebody who will ever be on our roster. He's a criminal. And Anthony Rivera wanted me to sign him for a one-match deal just so he could, get his revenge. And I, of course, absolutely not. That's not even a question. He asked for a lights out match. No, there's no way I'm going to support and give the light of day to a criminal like Jack Barnett. He is sitting behind bars right now, and that's where he deserves to be. And as far as I'm concerned, I really should have pressed charges a little more to the extent of the law than I did. However, knowing we're moving forward. So Anthony Rivera, he ended the pay-per-view on the ground, but he did not end the night on the ground. He was ready to go. Go ahead, Bear.
I was going to say, with all that being said, he still is the inaugural
Can't take it away.
heavyweight champ.
Exactly.
And you can't take that moment away, no matter what you do, no matter what heinous act, he is still and always will be the first champ.
His name is etched in history for sure.
Yep. Years from now, we'll be talking about the number one first ever world heavyweight champion, the first main event winner, Anthony Rivera, definitely a future Hall of Famer in the WSN 2K promotion. I'm very excited to see what the future holds for him. One thing I do want to show that he has also won, not only did he win the world championship, but he is also winning an autographed WSN Fight for All poster. So this will be sent to each of us to sign and sent to him. And he'll also earn the backup Fight for All poster signed by all of us. So he can hang that up, and he can have that as the historic night where he became a historic figure in the wrestling community as the first ever WSN World Heavyweight Champion. We did not publish these yet. We will eventually do it. The date ended up being incorrect, but they will be published for sure in the future. Rusty said that it's definitely going to be a good trivia question for who the first world champion was. Now I want to also talk about, because there's going to be somebody else who's going to earn these posters with our signatures, and that is going to be the winner of our poll show. And I got the winner down right here. And
it was a close one, if I counted correctly. I was counting earlier, and it was a pretty close one. A lot of really tight race there, really tight race. From my perspective, it looked like there's at least 8 people that were like this close.
Yep, there was a close one. I said if there could be multiple winners. However, I believe Clayton, back me if I'm wrong, but I believe we only have one winner.
That's what I got.
And I am going to announce that winner, even though I don't think he's on right now, but I will post it.
I think he is. I think he just commented, if I saw correctly. If it's the person that I have.
Oh, he did. Yep. Yes, sir. All right. The winner, I'll show it again. The winner of the poll predictions is going to get this Fight for All poster, as well as this Fight for All poster. And all four of us will be signing it and sending it to you to frame, to have up, whatever you want to do with it. And the winner of the poll prediction tournament is Raymond May Jr. So congratulations, Raymond May. You guessed the most. I'm pretty sure he got what, one
more than like 8 other people.
Yeah, so it was
A
close.
tight race.
It was close. So yeah, we will get with you. We got to send it between everybody, so it may not come super soon, but we'll get with you after this, get your information so we can send it to you. And yeah, pay-per-views, whoever wins the poll predictions will get a prize of some sort, whether it's a shirt, some more posters, whatever the case may be. And you won't know about what it is until the post show. So you have to make sure to tune into the post show so you hear about it. So Raymond, go ahead and send us a message with your so it is written, so it has come to pass. Raymond, go ahead and send us your address of where we need to send these to. We'll get that sent to you as soon as it makes the rounds. But congratulations. It was a close one. Thank you, everybody who voted. We did have a lot of votes. And what blows my mind is I don't think we had one person vote for Anthony Rivera in the Fight for All match. Not gonna lie, I didn't vote for it because I thought if he could survive B Rice, there's just no way. And then when he came out number 1, I was like, okay, yeah, he ain't winning it. So yeah, I'm pretty sure if they were to revote after seeing how he how he can go, voting may have been a little different, but yeah, you will be getting those posters coming your way, Raymond May Jr. Man, what a great night. What a historic night. I am so thrilled with how the pay-per-view had, everything that happened minus the end, which will no longer be discussed from here on out. So I'm going to say the name one more time. Jack Barnett is a criminal, and he won't be in any of the highlight reels, the playbacks. He had his moment of fame, and I had a little bit of talking with the cameraman and told him that they should have cut the camera when that happened. But again, they didn't know what to do. It was happening so fast. Nobody expected it. I just wish we had at least 20 more seconds on air to show Anthony Rivera get his back on his feet. And but we will see him on his feet with a live microphone in his hand and the world championship at the main event of Proving Ground, where the floor is going to be his. If he wants to announce a match for week 2, if he wants to announce who he wants to challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship at the next pay-per-view, who knows? I'm pretty much giving him a free live mic Thursday night Proving Ground to make up for how the night ended for him. So, yeah. Does anybody else want to add anything to how awesome the WSN 2K Fight for All pay-per-view was?
I'd like if we got time, I'd like for us all to just say our moment of the night or whatever.
Absolutely.
Like what stuck out to us the most, good or bad, if it was, your moment of the night in terms of a big spot or someone winning or whatever, or if it was a negative thing in terms of like, a moment in terms of, like Hodge or Kylan or Jack or anything like that. I just want to know everyone's big moment of the night. So let's go ahead and start with our producer from the back. I know you didn't catch all of it, but from what you got, Gavin, what was your moment of the night?
Man, honestly, it was during that Kylan match, the end of it, when he grabbed, the rope and the ref didn't call it. You get what you deserve. So, Kylan screwed Kylan. Put that on a shirt.
Oh, all right.
Bear?
Well, I already gave my very match of the night in my moment. But for anyone that wasn't listening, it had to be the second women's triple threat match and that pretty moonsault by, is it Cub, you say? That's how you pronounce it?
I think it was Cub,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So that was my match of the night. I mean, moment of the night.
Right on.
That's a good one.
Definitely two beautiful moments, that's for sure.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I gotta give it a tie. I know I'm can be controversial in doing so. But I'm the boss. I do what I want. So the first one I gotta give to Caleb Trikel from the kicking out at 1. Definitely my first moment of the night. It was the moment where I believe everybody in the audience, everybody watching at home, it's when their mind changed about Caleb. And definitely it took the breath out of me. Like I said, I was speechless, and I wasn't just saying that, I was speechless. So my first moment of the night was Caleb kicking out at 1 after like 5 knees to the face and a moonsault. My second moment of the night, I gotta give it to my guy Anthony Rivera winning the WSN World Heavyweight Championship. Most excited moment of the night for me right there. 100%. Anthony Rivera winning the WSN World Heavyweight Championship.
Absolutely. All great moments for sure. I mean, honestly, those are all the ones that are at the top of my list. Absolutely. I mean, Kylan getting screwed, Cub with the most beautiful moonsault I've seen in ages. But like Brady said, overall, as much as it pains me to say this because of the guys he took out for it, I got to give the moment to Anthony Rivera, our champion, because that guy went through it all. He went to hell and back. He fought his way through everything, and he earned it. I could not be more proud of our champion tonight. I mean, he showed up and he showed out for sure.
Sounds good, man. Ian Mosley, we may have to bring you on for the mouthpiece for Kylan, considering you are the mouth. We have the number 1 advocate for Kylan Howard.
Yeah.
That's Ian Mosley.
I back that up, Ian. I got you.
The mouth, we may have to bring you on as a manager for Kylan Howard, maybe to help keep him out of trouble or to get him in trouble. Get him into trouble, but a little bit more conspicuously.
Hey, if you do lawyer work, he could use a lawyer right now to help justify his motives and everything going on in case anyone tries to pin anything on him.
So I may be talking to you a little bit later, Ian Mosley, because that may be an actual offer that we have. So, but yeah, great moments of the night. I'm excited to see what the future holds. I'm excited to look back at our top 10 countdowns for WSN 2K, for trivia with WSN 2K, documentaries, shows, pay-per-views, Proving Ground episodes. I'm very excited about everything. It's going so according to plan, but it's just blowing my expectation out of the water. So thank you for all the fans. Thank you for all the press people who are staying up late to listen to this press conference, Fight for All post show, including the guys working behind the clock, Rusty Roman, who, he decided to stay up and
man of the company.
Man of the company. Yeah, guys, I can't say it enough. You got to make sure to stay tuned to WSN Proving Ground. Thursday night, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. So that's, our weekly show won't be as long as the pay-per-view, but we'll have just as much action. We'll see the fallout from Fight for All. We may see some future storylines being started. So make sure you tune in. Like I said, the world champ, Anthony Rivera, will be there. He'll have a live mic in his hand. He'll be talking about what the future holds for him as the world champion. Liz, Cub, and Brittany Hodge, they're all expected to be there. I want to try to get them in the ring at the same time and see what's going on between them. We have a great match coming up with B. Rice and Douglas McCrae. They both took losses tonight at Fight for All, and this is going to be a perfect opportunity for them to gain a victory and use that momentum to move forward in WSN. Well, then of course Spencer Watley versus the Mouth, Ian Mosley's man, Kylan Howard, the rematch. Who truly is the toughest? And I promise there will be no shenanigans in this match. We will have a definitive winner. So yeah, y'all stay tuned to WSN Proving Ground Thursday night. Anybody else want to add anything?
Just how much we appreciate everybody. We wouldn't be here without you fans, so we appreciate y'all sticking with us. We appreciate y'all helping us bring this to life. We are super stoked about the future of WSN and Proving Grounds. Just stay tuned. Y'all haven't seen anything yet.
Absolutely. Bear, do you want to add anything?
Like I always say, this is only the beginning, and because of your support, we're here, and you're going to get great wrestling action.
100%. Gavin, what about you, bro?
It's just like, kind of like what Barry Clayton said. Just keep tuning in. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. It's only going to get better. So just keep watching, see where it goes. Unless you're a cheater or a criminal, then don't. But if you're not and you're an actual true athlete, then, by all means. But yeah, we appreciate y'all.
Yes, I can't, just like the guy said, I can't thank y'all enough. It's been one hell of a journey to get where we are, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So definitely make sure you're a part of it. If you're listening to the podcast version and you're wondering where you can see all the hot action, you can see it at YouTube. And just go search on YouTube, the Wrestling Society Network. That's where you'll see all of our wrestling content, including all of our WSN 2K promotion content, where we have our pay-per-views and our weekly shows. So make sure you tune in to YouTube, Wrestling Society Network, and Proving Ground Thursday night, this coming Thursday night, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. And I believe that's 4 p.m. Pacific, if I'm correct. Yeah, stay tuned. Of course, follow us on Facebook at the Wrestling Society Podcast, Instagram at the Wrestling Society Podcast. I believe our TikTok is Wrestling Society Podcast, and then Twitter, the Wrestling SP. Facebook, our Facebook groups where we have most of our discussion. So make sure you tune into that. Yeah, thank you guys so much. It's been one hell of a night, very major historic night, and it will go down in history as beautiful. So yeah, I think Gavin, being as hot as he was, very happy to have him as our producer.
Absolutely. Passion. I love it.
Yeah, lay down the law. Bear as our retired wrestling veteran. I can't thank you enough. And, Clayton, who is pretty much the editor, producer, the one who brought everything together. And I would like to thank myself for getting these guys on a team together to produce one hell of a promotion. So much more to come. But I guess until next time, y'all stay too sweet.